apologies. I'll send you some documentation on this, but I'll try and talk you through the visualization. Can you hear me okay? On the phone?
Yes.
Awesome. So the spring of 13, we talked to the executive committee about some changes we wanted to make in our data offering. By the point I got to Infinity, everything was on the Oracle Exadata. And the thing you need to know about the Oracle Exadata is 3 numbers. Okay? Cost us, for a terabyte of information, how many people have a terabyte of storage in their laptop? Right? On the Oracle Exadata, it's $250,000 to store it, to maintain it. That's our all-in software, hardware, maintenance, everything, right? $250,000 per terabyte. I joked it's probably the most expensive database known to man, to which one of my team quickly replied that the database that's aboard the Mariner, that I guess left the Galaxy, is probably a little more expensive, but it technically is not on Earth. $20,000 a terabyte is what it costs us to store the same data in the HP Vertica database, right? I'm taking a 0 off of that. As somebody whose strategy is to be a low-cost provider, that's a huge opportunity. And $9,000 per terabyte is what it'll cost us to both archive and store structured and unstructured data, respectively, in our Cloudera Hadoop platform. That's the large motivation here. 1 is cost, and 2 is performance, right? We had some queries that were analytical in nature that were running very slowly against the Exadata. We proofed out 3 or 4 analytic databases. None of them performed less than 100 times better than the Oracle Exadata, and every one of them was cheaper. Right? So 250,000, 20,000, and 9,000. When Glenn Dick talks to you about information lifecycle management, that's what's driving that, right? That we store our data at a cost that's commensurate with its value. Everything in red is things we've asked for that are either in flight or not yet done. Everything else in green right now, sorry phone users, is stuff we've done. So we had the X2 when I got here. We're installing another Oracle Exadata for failover. So we were running the entire business off a single cabinet of very expensive, $1,000 a terabyte Oracle hardware. Now we're going to run it off 2 very expensive cabinets of Oracle hardware. So if you see Bob Schlimmer around the halls, that's why he's smiling all the time. He's our Oracle rep. One of the problems in getting that data into our analytical stores, we were using a product called Oracle Data Integrator. That's kind of on its way to a replacement because 1, it doesn't effectively move data into our analytic platforms, and 2, when it does, the licensing from an Oracle standpoint is prohibitive. They want to charge us, to give you an idea, I realize there are some people in here that aren't exactly living in IT all the time. There's something like 128 cores in our Vertica cluster, a little more than that in our Cloudera cluster, and Oracle wants to charge us licensing for every one of them, even though neither of these platforms are running Oracle software, right? So we're moving to a product called Pentaho Data Integrator. We haven't purchased it yet, but we've been through the requirements, scorecard, proof of concept, evaluate alternatives, and negotiating a price with the vendor. And Ralph actually has the order for that. That's going to split our data into structured and unstructured data. Who has heard the term big data in the last, I don't know, 5 minutes? No, in the last, 12 months. Pretty big show of hands. So we're in the peak of a bubble, right? No. So structured and unstructured data, we do a real good job of managing our structured data, not so much managing what I would call unstructured and semi-structured data. Some of that's going to be part of the master data management project. Some of it is not. And we've got 2 purpose-built databases that we've acquired over the last year to handle that. To access that data, Our only specification is that you use SQL, so I don't care what tool you use there, as long as it speaks structured query language over JDBC, ODBC. I think technically ADO.NET is still supported, although I don't think you'll find something to use it. But we're going to support MicroStrategy for, and by we, I mean Don's team. Don has nobody in this meeting. Kimberly Aids, Glenn Hart, and Richard Lescarini.
They're all in a MicroStrategy meeting.
Of course they are. That's right. They are. Thank you. So they are supporting the MicroStrategy tool set, which allows us, we've got a desktop component to that, a web component, and a mobile component for accessing reporting. I think they've transferred some of the invoice reporting that was already done in Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. And the other thing that does for us, so these are kind of sanctioned data stores, right? So there's a change control process, IT kind of curates this data, right? But you're going to have data, perhaps unsanctioned was a bad word there, private, as long as it's not image files. Say Excel, text, you know, some data maybe you bought from a vendor that you want to combine with this data. That MicroStrategy tool set allows you to do that and operate on data sets that you wouldn't have been able to do with, say, Microsoft Excel by itself. In terms of where we are, that's in requisition, that's being implemented, that is, the X3 is being implemented, the Pentaho data integrator has been requested, MicroStrategy imminently rolling out. I think we've got 2 final defects that they're working out, and our Cloudera professional services team will be on site the first week of June, and we hope to be able to unleash that by late June. Any questions?
One question I have around
Of course, it's always the guy with the powerful iPad.
the holographic iPad, the operational data store.
Yeah, so
Where
this
does
is
that-
really a physical architecture of how the data moves, but one of the things we're thinking about using this Cloudera Hadoop instance for is storing a copy of our operational data so that technologically, and I really didn't want to get into this in this meeting, our extract, transform, and load processes wouldn't actually hit production, they would hit Cloudera. Our other option, this is an active replication, is that if we're running the business, say this is my primary database, right? And this is my failover or secondary, instead of extracting from Hadoop, I'll run from my secondary copy of the dormant Exadata. Both of those are options, as well as allowing operational reporting right out of MicroStrategy from that secondary copy. So if there was data, I don't know, this never happens, right? That there was a rate revision that made a change to a data structure, and that data is always instantly available in the data warehouse, right? So there's never any lag. But say we're operating in an imperfect world, and that data didn't get in there, because it's in the quotation system, right? You would have access to it. Is that where you were headed?
Yes.
Anything else?
Any questions from anybody on the phone?
Is that what you were looking for, John?
Exactly what I was looking
Wow. Awesome.
for. Thank you, Barry.
Yeah, thank you.